everything is a choice. It's a choice for you to feel sorry for yourself or wherever you're at. Like, oh, but I have 4 kids and I'm a single mom and this and that. And, my parents didn't really show me how to eat. I didn't know how to eat. I did not know anything about nutrition. I love wine. I'm from Montreal. Like, I'm very European. It's wine at dinner every night. And I had to let that go because my future self and my health and what I want to create is more important than 5 or 10 minutes of enjoying a glass of wine. And again, that the choice, life is always going to happen. It's this holiday, this person died. Oh, I'm traveling, but we're going on our honeymoon. You choose to put your health first or to keep letting your life just run you.
Welcome to the show, Claude Racine. I'm so happy to have you on the show today. Thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me. So happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we were talking so much offline, so it's time to press record, right? So let's get to it. Let's just jump right in. So I know you're on the other side of your hardest times and your struggles. So can you bring us back to your pain that has now become the catalyst to you helping and serving so many today?
Sure. So in January of 2020, I gave birth to my son. I had a home birth. I was like, I'm going to do this the most painful way possible. And everything went great. I had the best pregnancy of life. It was so much fun. And then 3 days after having my son, it was like a massive 18-wheeler truck like fell on me. And I was immediately filled with like this intense worry about life, and I was constantly sad, and obviously that was postpartum depression and anxiety. And that stayed with me for about a year of really just not wanting to be here. Like, becoming a mom was definitely very, very difficult for me. And 10 months after I had my son, I was then diagnosed with Hashimoto's. So dealing with the depression and the anxiety, I just found comfort in like eating whatever I wanted to eat, the worst of foods, sugar. I drank every night, which led to an autoimmune diagnosis in October of 2020.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that, first of all. So let's unpack this a little bit, because I know everybody's heard of postpartum depression, and I kind of want to get really real here, because I think anybody listening that feels that way, sometimes they don't speak about it because there's a lot of guilt and shame that they just birthed this beautiful child and they should be happy and everything should be all peachy keen. But I think it is actually more common than we realize, the postpartum depression, especially becoming a new mom. So I really want to hold the space for anybody listening, moms that are listening that are experiencing that. Can you kind of walk us through what was your experience and why were you experiencing that? I know everybody's different, but if you could kind of walk us a little deeper into that, just sharing your realness.
Sure. So I think, I had my son when I was 38, so I was much older, and my whole life, I was very free. I moved to LA when I was 20. I was a professional backup dancer for 18 years. I traveled the world. I was very, very, very selfish, Erica. Like, my life was me. It was me booking the jobs. It was me fulfilling my dream. I didn't have to take care of anyone else. I never had to worry about anybody else. Like, I left home and I wasn't one of those people that was like, I miss home. Like, I just loved being free and by myself. And when I met my husband, I loved being with him, and we did everything together. He was also a professional dancer. So we lived together, we worked together, we would ride motorcycles together, we would travel together. And then all of a sudden my son was born, and this is not ever am I blaming him. Like, this was my decision to have this human, but everything felt like it was taken away from me. I had no space, no freedom, no time to myself. I couldn't do anything. I had to breastfeed all day long. And then my husband was like still working on set and he was still going on motorcycle rides. And I
Mm-hmm.
felt so trapped, I felt like I was trapped, like in a prison. And it just wasn't fun for me. And then, like you said, the shame kind of comes up where you're used to seeing on social media and TV that having a baby is this beautiful experience. And I did not feel that at
Yeah.
all. So then you're thinking, is something wrong with me? Like, why didn't anybody warn me about this? Like, not my mom, like, nobody was like,
You might
it
experience.
just, yeah, it was, yeah.
I just thank you for sharing that because I think a lot of like what you just walked me through, I'm actually seeing myself in your position. Like that freedom to, take care of yourself, be in your relationship, being able to, like you said, ride your motorcycle and just take off and not responsible to something. And then you're suddenly like complete shift into this whole thing where like one thing is solely dependent on you and you have to be readily available at all times. So I can only
All the time.
imagine just that transformation is like shocking in itself. And I know everybody experiences motherhood differently. So I just think that your realness and sharing that story is so important for moms to hear because I think people are afraid to talk about it or they feel shame over experiencing it. So I would love for you to talk about, and I want to move into the Hashimoto's eventually as well, but just going a little
Sure,
deeper into the postpartum depression.
sure.
What started to help you move through this depression you were experiencing? What tools or what advice would you have somebody listening that is experiencing these emotions and how to really address them head on? And sometimes it takes support, right? Therapy, your partner's support, whatever it may be. But what was some of your tools that helped you?
I will say the biggest thing was when my husband finally stopped minimizing my experience. And I think a
Mm,
lot of people minimize. They're like, oh, yeah, baby blues. No, it's not baby blues. Like, I want to kill myself. Like, every day I'm imagining, like, what would be the least painful way? Because it's also like I felt heavy, but now I'm also making everyone else's life miserable. Like, my husband was constantly having to, like, pick me up and reassure me that I was going to be okay. And people will be like, "Oh, it won't be like this forever. Don't worry, it'll get better." But I actually looked at my husband one day cuz he got upset with me, and the worst thing is you can't even manage your own emotions. But now, like, you've got people around you who are getting upset with you and you're like, "You know what? I'm out of here. I'm going to end this." And one day I looked at him and I go, "I don't feel sorry for you because at least you're not sitting there wanting to blow your head off all the time and
yeah.
trying to take care of a baby and love this thing at the same time." And he looked at me and he was like, "Okay, I hear you. I'm sorry." And from
Oh,
that moment on, I felt like, okay, he gets it. He's not trying to like tell me it's going to be okay. And he was like, that's got to be horrible. So from that moment on, some of the best things that helped was just me being able to talk to my partner,
yeah.
going on walks. Um, he was very present in helping me with the baby. I think some moms are left to like have to do this all alone. Um, and one of the things I'll forever be grateful for with him is that he put his own things aside to like make sure that I would survive through this. And I was mean, Erica. I was mean. Like I was not nice. I didn't feel nice. I felt
Yeah.
horrible all the time. So I would just lash out, and he would just take it and be like, "I understand," and then be like, "Let's go on a walk. Let's go play frisbee."
Sounds like your husband, Noah, by the way, same as my partner's name. Noah is incredible and he got it. He actually, just me hearing you speak about the words he said to you, like basically, I see you, I
Yeah,
understand. Like I could like he can't relate to how you're feeling per se, but he could be like, I'm here with you in it. And I think as let's say moms are listening to this right now, I think is having that conversation with your partner and just being like really straight up and saying like, I don't need you to try to fix my problem or to say like, it's going to be okay and all these things. It's just like, I just want you to understand and just be by my side in this experience, because it's very
Yeah.
challenging. I mean, I think depression in itself, whether it be postpartum depression or just depression, I think it's really how people are by your side through it, not trying to fix it or say like, "Oh, you're going to get out of it," and just like all these encouraging words. Because I think because I've struggled with depression myself when I was younger, and I've actually attempted suicide when I was younger, and I know it really is critical. The person beside you is just being there with you and saying, "I see you, I feel you, I hear you," and you know, whatever you need, just let me know. And just knowing somebody's there beside you. And I know the hardest thing is when you don't have somebody beside you. So I'd love to hear, because you work with a lot of women today and you've helped them in many facets of their life with their health and business and all these things. But if you've worked with some people in dealing with depression, I'm just curious, what tools have you given them based on your own experience of being able to rise above it? Because when you're on the other side, you're able to look back and at least say, like, this really helped me. And I love that you say go on walks, because that's one of my tools, if you want to say as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Something objective, like something to get you out of your mind. So I always give any woman I work with that's going through that is make sure she gets out of her mind and into her body. So let's get you. I know nobody wants to work out when you're feeling like that, but let's get up. Let's just do something with the body. Let's have you, empty the dishwasher. Let's have you go on a walk. Let's have you go throw a ball outside with your mom or your husband or a friend. Go have coffee. It's hard to remember to do things for yourself in that moment because you're so busy caring for the baby, and also everything's new. Like you never know like what is wrong with the baby, or you know there's like the witching hour every day at like 4 or 5 where a baby cries for no reason and
Yeah.
you can't soothe it. So remembering to like take a shower. And if anyone out there is listening and you have a friend that's a new mom, everybody thinks that we're doing fine and everybody starts to worry about the baby. How's the baby? The
Mm.
baby is fucking fine. Like the baby's surviving. That's all they can do. They're surviving. The mom, however, like just go over there. Maybe do a load of laundry, maybe wash dishes for her, maybe bring her food or some water without asking. Cuz we're always in here. What's next for
Mhm.
the baby? When's the next nap? When is he going to be hungry? Did he get enough milk? Did he like the milk? Is he allergic? Oh my god, he's coughing. What's happening? Like it just doesn't stop. So I think getting the mom out of here. And then also, Erica, one of the big things I wish I would have known then was my nutrition.
Mm.
Because a lot of depression and anxiety, and obviously Hashimoto's, is all in the gut. And I was just feeding my body with gluten and sugar and alcohol, making, the gut brain connection is very real. And I was screwing that up every day. So the biggest thing for me is let's get an anti-inflammatory diet going. Let's get you out of your mind and doing things with the body. Let's try to work on sleep as much as we can and get the mom to ask for help where she needs. And then another little tool I love is seed cycling
Seed
for women.
cycling?
Yeah.
What's this?
So seed cycling is where you, for the first 2 weeks of your cycle, now mind you, someone
Mm.
postpartum is probably not having a cycle. So we align the woman with the moon cycle. So whatever day the moon is on is what we put her on. And you take two different kinds of seeds, 2 tablespoons of two different kinds of seeds. I believe it's flax seeds and I always forget the seeds. I have to look it up. But for the first 2 weeks, and then the luteal phase, so the second 2 weeks, you take two different kinds of seeds every day. And this helps to bring balance back to the hormones naturally,
Mm.
helps to elevate estrogen levels when necessary and progesterone levels when necessary. So you start to, because really your hormones are just, they go up 300% when you're pregnant.
No.
Levels are like, and then you give birth and they crash.
And that
And
explains the
yeah,
moodiness or the edginess, depression, and whatnot. I
yes.
mean,
Yeah.
That's insane. Well, I think one of the most important things you mentioned, I mean, well, all those tools were so necessary. Getting a little movement, and of course, and I so feel you women that are depressed or anxious or just dealing with a lot of heaviness. The last thing you want to do is push yourself to like go for a walk or get outside. Like everybody knows when people are depressed or not feeling well, like they want to isolate, they want to like be in a dark room and like just be alone. And of course, we know that is not going to help you get out of it. And so the best thing is just forcing yourself to, honestly, just to walk out the door, just go for a walk. I think that's the
Yeah.
easiest recommendation in my personal opinion,
Yeah.
to at least start there. Because going to the gym
Yes.
is another level, especially when you're depressed. Or you could turn
Yes.
on YouTube and find a home workout and just start again, like just I have a mini trampoline. Go jump on a trampoline. That brings joy immediately. Like doing something kind of like
Well,
play like.
careful of
Oh yeah.
the
Well, you know
pelvic
this
floor.
stuff. I don't know this.
You
Okay,
may
so
not
don't
want
do
to
that.
jump too
That's great.
too
Okay,
soon.
so I love that. I love that you interrupt me on that one because I don't know that. Yeah, that's so funny. I couldn't That's kind of crazy to even imagine. But yeah,
Yeah.
just that little like a little step. But most importantly, what I love that you mentioned, if you don't know this, anybody that's listening, is how much nutrition will benefit our mood and really help serve us when we are feeling anxious, stressful, deprived, and all the things is that nourishment. And food, yes, is, enjoyable, but it's really food is meant to nourish us. And so that's why I
Yeah.
love the work you're doing and everything you've learned in your process of healing is how food is medicine. And that's really what I definitely want to move into is like, what has been your healing journey? Because I know you've worked with our dear friend, Rachel Shear, for functional medicine, and she helped you really transform your health. And that's where things obviously turned around for you. And so, can you kind of walk us through what you did, the next steps to because you developed Hashimoto's. For those that are not familiar with it, if you could kind of share a little walk into that park. And then how did you begin to address your health in this functional root cause approach?
Sure. So autoimmune disease probably lives in the body for a few years before it like unleashes its dragon into the body. Um, Usually, yes, you have to have the gene present, but remember that genetics only plays 1%. So genetics will load the gun, but we pull the trigger, meaning we are mostly in control of that. Um, so gut has to be a little bit out of whack for autoimmune disease to develop. So there's got to be like some leaky gut dysbiosis, which is weird like bad bacteria and bacteria imbalance in the gut, and then a traumatic event. So a lot of women after they have babies develop Hashimoto's. It's like that third leg that needs to pop off is the traumatic event that just erupts the autoimmune. So Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease where we have too many antibodies in our like a thyroid antibody. And what's crazy is gluten and the thyroid hormone, like on a molecular level, are very similar. So when you eat gluten, it sets off an inflammatory response in the body. These antibodies that we have start attacking the gluten, but they also start attacking the thyroid because they can't tell the difference.
Hmm.
So now you're compromising the thyroid, everything slows down. Brain fog, joint pain, bloating, like your stomach hurts, and unexplained weight gain, and then really just weight loss resistance. Like I was running 3 miles a day, eating what I thought was healthy, and could not drop a single pound. So, um, after like a year of sort of dealing with this postpartum depression, I started an online direct sales business, Erica, selling skincare and makeup. And that helped me like wake up with a purpose. And I started feeling better. And then I was like working out more and feeling more like myself again. But something was still off. I still was like swollen and puffy. And that's when Rachel came into my life. And I love telling this story because we went to a couples meetup, my husband and I. And there's Rachel in her cute little yellow bathing suit with that cute little butt running around. And I was like, okay, well, first of all, I need my butt to look like that. So I'm going to see if she's like a personal trainer or something. Well, to my surprise, not only was she a personal, or she was not a personal trainer, she was a functional nutritionist. And she asked me, did anybody ever look at your gut? Like, and I was like, no. And she goes, well, Hashimoto's is rooted in the gut. And that was when my world changed and was like, oh, gut health and all the food I've been eating 30, 40 years of my life, just destroying myself. Um, she gave me a plan. I said, I'm committing to this 100%. And within 6 months, like I had lost 30 pounds, reversed my Hashimoto's, and was like not even the same person.
So remarkable. And obviously, you learned a lot in that process, tools that you're able to now help serve other women in the process.
Yes.
So that's what's so
Yes.
remarkable about when you start to address any issue you're having, whether it be, I mean, in, weight loss, health, relationships, business. It's like when you pursue trying to fix your problem and then you're on the other side, now you're equipped with tools to help serve somebody else. If you choose to, that could become your purpose. And it
Yeah.
definitely has become your purpose. And I completely understand why, because you've seen the radical change from what you were experiencing before. And now being on this side, you're able to serve from a really heartfelt place, which is absolutely remarkable. I love it. And so
Thank
let's
you.
go a little deeper into healing the body and the gut health, because as I was kind of talking online, that's actually what I'm approaching now, because I have an autoimmune disease, which is scalp psoriasis. Luckily, it's not anywhere else in my body, knock on wood. But I know that really any skin disorder, if you want to say, or skin problems, eczema, psoriasis, even acne, some of it is hormone based. Like we could obviously talk about that, but a lot of these things stem in the gut. And as you were mentioning, Hashimoto's as well, a lot of autoimmune diseases actually stem in the gut. So that is, I believe, the first place to check, of just to see what gut intestinal permeability you have, or SIBO, or what is going on to cause this array of our body attacking itself. So what did you first start addressing? Like, was it the diet, or was it doing lab well, I imagine you had to do some lab tests, but what was like the catalyst to helping you then transform? Was it mostly nutrition or supplements, or a combination of
Definitely
it?
nutrition. Like I don't do testing with my clients. I we don't do lab testing. I just put them on an anti-inflammatory diet. We add like a few supplements. So I always recommend liquid fish oil. 'Cause in this country, especially, we are ingesting omega 6s all the time in the seed oils, and omega 6s are inflammatory. Fish oil, omega 3s, which reduce inflammation in the body. And you mentioned something, Erica, about some of it is hormonal, but hormone imbalances and things like that are a result of, a symptom of gut problems. So
Did you all
everything,
hear that? Did you all hear that? So gut first. What was
all,
it? And a lot of people have heard this, of course. Over 70% of our immune system also stems in the gut. So th-
yeah,
I personally think, and this is my personal opinion, everyone should be addressing their gut health.
yeah.
Everybody should be optimizing their gut health without question. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like if you want to be healthy, that's the first place I think should be addressed. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's, I mean, so my point was that I don't do any testing, and my clients, like, these are things I didn't even realize I could do for my clients, but they get off of depression meds, anxiety meds. I had one client come off of 12 different medications. Most of my clients lose 30 pounds in 3 months, and that's a lot of inflammation, water weight. Um, I have one client who had ulcerative colitis in remission, and this is just from mainly addressing nutrition, eating 3 times a day. Uh, on average, the Americans eat 17 times a day. I don't know if you're aware of that,
What?
whether it's like
No.
popping a handful of almonds or something. Um, and that causes a lot of inflammation and digestive issues. So when you just apply these few little things like eat 3 times a day, count your macros, remove gluten, dairy, sugar, and alcohol from your diet, prioritize sleep. It's like, and so when I worked with Rachel, we just went straight for gut health. So like she totally transformed my nutrition.
Yeah.
She did my macros for me, which I'd never really done before. And then we did like a gut protocol for the first like 2 months, and it was, which is taking like a few supplements that help get all the toxins in the gut out.
So
Yeah,
good. So,
so
so
good.
useful. Yeah.
Easy.
It's, and I do think diet really is the key. I mean, if we, like you talked about, an anti-inflammatory diet, and I think just equip yourself with that simple knowledge, like there's more that you could remove that is inflammatory, but the key ones, I think nobody should have gluten. Doesn't matter if you have celiac or not. Gluten is totally inflammatory. So gluten, dairy, we know, causes mucus in our body and inflammation. Sugar, that's the most obvious one, without a
Yeah.
doubt. And then I don't like to talk about alcohol. I still drink wine, and I'm a wine drinker, but but I do know that that is one of the things too. I think you used to drink wine as well, but I know one of my things with wine is, or I'm switching to personally, is a low alcohol wine, which is Dry Farms wines. It's organic. It's uh, I'm trying to think all the details, but I'm switching that because it's no sugar and it's lower in alcohol. So I could still, have an occasional wine glass, but yet a better option, right? So, but I
Yeah.
do know if you want to heal something as an autoimmune disease or address your gut health and then heal the gut, you got to
Hmm.
remove things at least for a time period. But you could
Yes.
speak more to that. I'm not the expert on, like, I actually at the top of the year, because I was telling you about the scalp psoriasis, at the top of the year I started an AIP diet, which is autoimmune paleo diet, and that's literally to remove all the inflammatory triggers and
Hmm.
possibly some irritable things that you might have reaction to. And so, you know, really the key is with the healing protocol is you need to be a little rigid. You need to be serious about it. You need to be dedicated and committed and disciplined about it so that you could heal. And then you could possibly add in, and it depends really what your goals are going forward, but you need to heal first.
Yeah, 100%. And alcohol is now one of my favorite topics. I think everyone is on their own journey, first of all. And it's like you just you peel the layers when it comes to alcohol. And then you're like, "Wait, why am I still drinking that or that?" So for, when I started working with Rachel, it was like, "Okay, no alcohol. 6 months, nothing." Like I did not veer from my nutrition not one time in 6 months.
Amazing.
And then I was like, "Okay, I'll just drink like on special occasions." And then I was like, "Why am I drinking at all? I don't even like the taste of wine anymore. And then it's a toxin and I represent health." It just stopped making sense to me. Um, you know, One of the main things about alcohol that I like to talk about when it comes to women is obviously we know it's metabolized through the liver.
Hmm.
And the liver also metabolizes estrogen. And the liver also does a lot of other things. But when you drink alcohol, your liver stops doing everything and says, and it goes, get the poison out, get the poison out, get the poison out. So what happens is the estrogen that isn't being metabolized is then reabsorbed into the body. Now you've got estrogen dominance. Now,
Mm.
and the side effects of estrogen dominance are I like to call them evil. It's like low libido, dry vagina, painful sex, irregular cycles, painful periods, weight loss resistance, migraines, like the worst shit possible. So, and the older we get, the worse this becomes. So, that's my take on it, Erica.
Yeah.
You just, you live your journey.
Yeah. And, I'm all about optimizing health, and I'm just being straight up and real with you all.
I love
I'm like a wine connoisseur somewhat. I will say I enjoy a good fine wine. It's not like it's like a glass, maybe two on the weekend. Uh, I go in my mind, there's some health benefits to it. It's could be worse. Like you know, but there is sugar, there is alcohol, and we already know, as you just talked about, the drawbacks of that. And so, yeah, I'm just being real. That's one of the things that, I could improve to optimize my health. And now that I'm doing this new gut protocol and addressing my health issues, I'm sure I'll be coming back and then talking about how I'm not
it.
having,
Yeah.
alcohol. So, yeah. So
Yeah.
I think this is what's key. And this is really what I want to talk to you about. I know from you, you're a highly ambitious, driven woman. I could see that from following you on Instagram, through all you share, and also that you literally did not cheat at all on your protocol for 6 months. There is a lot of people that set New Year's resolutions, they start it and they fail. I hate to break it to y'all. You stop doing what you say you're going to do. You don't stay committed to your goal. And that's okay. You're human. Like, things come in life and it's hard to stay committed. But we're going to be really real right now. And I know Claude is going to be really real, and she's going to tell you what's really getting in your way. So let's drop it to them, because this is really what I want to talk about. I'm huge on self-discipline. Self-discipline, I think, is like, number one, you're saying you love yourself. If you are staying committed to your goals, you're basically saying, I love myself enough to stay committed to being my healthiest healthy, to achieving my goals, because I don't want to be depressed. I want to be able to thrive. I want to be able to be there for my children. I want to be, feeling good in my body. I don't want to be, carrying around this weight, whatever. Like, stop making the excuses. It's time to become more disciplined. So I would love for you to share, what's your take on discipline, and how could we become more disciplined if we don't have that yet in us? We all have it in us, but how do we cultivate and actually bring it to everything in our life?
The discipline is probably the thing that people struggle with the most. Um, and for me, it's, what do you want? First of all, you have to be clear on where are you going and what do you want? Like, your purpose for getting healthy, what is that? Is it, for me it was, okay, well, I definitely need to like kill the Hashimoto's. Like, I refuse to let something live in my body like that and control me. No. Um so is it your kids? Is it do you want to look better? Which is okay, by the way, to want a better body, because people will be like, that's so superficial. Like, if that's what you want, you deserve to have that, and you will have it. Now, here's the thing. I do believe in God, and I do believe in the devil, and I do believe the devil has a very, very, very strong force. And all those little things that come in your head, like, oh, but I'm only doing it this much. Oh, it's only that much. Oh, it's not that bad. Oh, you know what? Like, this is just too hard and not worth it. Like, all those things that come in and try to steer you away from your goal, you have to be like, that's the devil. You have to first like really be aware of that, you know? And I'm really good at putting up a fight. Like, I am like, I will not let you win. You have to want to become really good at fighting against evil. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
You have
Mhm.
to decide, I'm not going to let this thing win. And anything that keeps you from your goals, from getting healthy, from being the best example for your children, that's all, like, I like to call it your bullshit. So you have to suffocate it. And you have to always choose God, and you have to choose yourself, and you have to choose your highest values. But first, you need to know, what are those? And for anyone out there who has children, who do you want them to become?
Right.
What example are you setting for them? It's not enough to just say, hey, you can be whatever you want. hey, eat healthy, while you're over there not doing, following your dreams, not doing anything, eating crap. Hey, you need to go outside and run around, be active, and you're on the couch. Discipline has to come from so deep within, of like a deep, deep desire to not let the devil win and to just not settle for mediocrity in yourself. Like, we're not put here to just be like, eh. And my discipline comes from wanting to be the best me, and for wanting to always choose God and not let the devil win me. Like, there's a saying that I say, but I'm not going to say it right here. But like, you
Why
cannot,
not? Drop it. If you would like. You don't have to, but
when you're not controlling your health and you're just kind of, la, 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 you're literally just bending over and letting the devil screw you in the ass. That's what I say. And for me, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be that kind of person. Like, we are so much stronger than that. So first of all, decide that whatever you want is possible. Like, I made the decision when I signed up with Rachel that I was going to annihilate Hashimoto's, that I was going to feel better mentally and lose the weight and get the body back that I was proud of, that I could look in the mirror and be like, dang, or look in a picture and actually like looking at myself. I decided I was going to get that. And then I believed I could. And then I chose that purpose time and over again. And Erica, I have been on the floor crying my eyes out, so angry that everyone around me was enjoying pizza and ice cream. And here I was with my chicken and broccoli and rice that I brought to my parents' house and going, why me? This is so unfair. I was so mad. But the next day I weighed myself and I was 3 pounds lighter. And the next day I looked at myself and I was like, Claude, you're a savage. Nobody else could say no to that food, but you did.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that because, well, what you created is a win and you created it over and over and over. And what that did is built your confidence, not only in yourself, but that you could win this, that you could get your goal that you decided on, that you're like, I am going to do whatever it takes, because you had a deeper drive and purpose to why you
Yeah.
were doing it. But it's that thing that it's like discipline has to happen every single day, because we'll always be thrown like challenges left and right. And so you are literally at the door of your future, meaning like you literally every decision will lead
Mm-hmm.
you to where you want to go or away from where you want to go. It's like
Yeah.
either food heals you or food destroys your health. So it's like you choose. And actually, I think you posted that today, if I remember. You said, I wrote it down because it was so good, because I love this. Oh yeah, this morning you posted, you are the sum of your choices. You are your only problem. And I know that statement could be very triggering, but let's go. This is radical honesty, and this is so true. So let's talk about
Be
that. So
triggered.
choices. It's
Yeah.
a choice, really. You get to choose. Do you want to be healthy? You get to choose what you're going to do about it. And
Yeah.
once you work with somebody like Claude, you could actually know the tools or the nutrition or the way there. So that's
Yeah.
what's really about. It's all choice.
Everything is a choice. It's a choice for you to feel sorry for yourself for wherever you're at. Like, oh, but I have 4 kids and I'm a single mom and this and that. And, my parents didn't really show me how to eat. I didn't know how to eat. I did not know anything about nutrition. I love wine. I'm from Montreal. Like, I'm very European. It's wine at dinner every night. And I had to let that go because my future self and my health and what I want to create is more important than 5 or 10 minutes of enjoying a glass of wine. And again, that the choice, life is always going to happen. It's this holiday, this person died. Oh, I'm traveling, but we're going on our honeymoon. You choose to put your health first or to keep letting your life just run you. just being a sheep, like, bleh, bleh. Somebody else is driving the wheel, and you have to go, no, I'm driving the wheel. I'm choosing me and my health 100% of the time. And man, when you stack those wins and you choose you every day over and over again, you just build so much confidence and self-trust.
Yeah.
Your whole life changes. Like my whole life changed. I went from being broke and living with my parents to a 7-figure business and owning my own home in like a year,
It's remarkable.
all from choosing myself. And, I felt, Erica, I have been there. I felt sorry for myself. Like, poor me, I have this disease. Nothing matters. Like, nothing matters unless you say it does. So if you say, well, I'm a single mom, you choose that, but you can create literally anything you want. You just have to be willing to do it.
Yeah. And sometimes, if not all the time, it's hard. It's not always supposed to be easy. And I think that's the thing is like the hard is, I think, what people are scared of. And obviously, people always want to be or stay in their comfort and this is another thing I talk about as well is like we have this identity about ourselves that we've formed over many, many, many years. And that's truly, to me, this is one of the big needle movers is shifting our identity, because if somebody is in that frame mindset that they, are depressed, they have all this, they're a mom and they don't have the time to do this and they've gained this weight. It's so hard. I've tried all the things, nothing works, and all of these things, like repeat all these narratives. But once you see yourself, the new identity that you get to decide and create for yourself, that I get to be healthy, I get to be thriving, I get to have the time and enjoyment with my kids and my work and all these things. If you create this vision of who you want to be,
Yeah.
but then you got to marry it. And the only way to marry it is in your habits, your decisions, and your choices. Like those are the key. And then of course your disciplines and your consistency. Consistency is definitely a key there. But I think that's the thing is like people want the easy route. And that's sometimes why they do a diet, a diet that promises in 12 weeks you'll lose, 30 pounds or whatever. But usually the things that actually work are the ones that take longer, actually, because you could speak a lot to this, but I would love to just hear your thoughts on that, because I think people just want the easy route. And that's why all these diets and all these things that are shared over the net is like people jump on. That's why they're so popular, like quick wins.
The problem is that it's not just about weight loss. Like you have to destroy the woman that got you to that place. Like you have to destroy her. And I know that sounds aggressive. I don't care, because all those bad habits, a lot of my clients will be like, yeah, but like, I'm really not like a gym person and I'm really not like an egg person and I don't eat a lot of protein. And I'm like, and look where that got you. And so the easy way out is not going to change and destroy the habits and the things and the bad things that got you to the place where you needed Ozempic, right? Where you needed a fast diet to lose weight. You have to do the hard work and dive in, and you have to sit in the suck. Like you have to suffer, and people are afraid to suffer, but that's where true transformation happens. When you're sitting there and you're like, oh my God, I want ice cream so bad. And your husband's sitting next to you and he's enjoying it and losing weight as he's eating it. And you're like, but you choose not to. Right there, you just transformed. And if you skip that part, you're just always going to go back to that woman that you were, because you never truly destroyed and transformed her. So the harder it is, the better your results will be. And it is hard.
Yeah. But it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. Being
It's so
overweight
worth
is
it.
hard. Being depressed is hard. A lot of people get mad at me because they're like, well, you don't know what they're going through. Honestly, I don't care, because what I care about is getting you to see that no matter what you're going through, you can get better and change it, so long as you detach yourself from what you're going through.
There you go. I think a lot of people
Yeah.
need to hear that. Seriously. And so the other thing, the other part, and I know there's people that are struggling financially, heck, or don't have the extra money to invest in a coach, functional medicine, and a program or whatnot. Like, I want to really speak to that. But I
Mhm.
do believe what you invest in, you pay attention to and you stay committed because it was uncomfortable to make that investment. I know I just invested in something. As I was saying, my psoriasis. I know my number one goal is optimal health. Like, health is number one to me above anything. So I am going to do what it takes to achieve my result. And I already know diet pretty well. I know nutrition, I know supplements, I know a lot about it because this has been my lifestyle for over 25 years.
Wow.
Uh, but I do know there's something going on that I don't see. So that's why I'm doing functional medicine testing for my gut to try to address the root of really what's going on. So I'm investing.
Yeah.
It's I'm stretching myself, trust me. Like, it's not like I just have like, oh, let's just throw this money. So it's uncomfortable. I'm stretching. So what does that do for me personally? And I think this happens with a lot of people. When you stretch yourself, when you invest, you will pay attention and you'll stay more committed. So, what can you say about that? Because I know you have programs that you're offering. And the reason why you do this is because you literally, with your clients, have changed their life and they stay committed because, number one, they're accountable to you. They're accountable to something because I hate to say, when you're not accountable to something, it's very easy to get into the same narrative, the same thing that got you there, as we were just talking about. So, what can you say about that, investing in yourself? And if you could kind of share a little bit about your Glow Up program.
Sure. Well, I'm with you on the investment. You have to have skin in the game, and it has to be a little uncomfortable and stretch you because losing weight is you expanding. Like, that's you wanting to make a massive change. It's you have to stretch yourself in every sense of the word, and that includes finances. If it's just like throwing pennies out the door, or you're like, whatever, you're not going to show up. And you said something about like accountability, but it's also like having a plan. It's
True.
having like somebody say who's done it, who's like, okay, Erica, you're gonna do D, just follow that. And you're like, okay, that's simple. I can follow that. As opposed to you trying to do it alone and you're like, oh, this isn't really working. Let me try this. And then you never try something long enough to see results. So the investment part, it's like the more you invest, the more results you'll get. And I started my investment journey with Rachel. And at the time, I think it was like $4,200 for 4 months. And that was scary for me because I was making like 5 grand a month doing, sales online. And then that slowly turned into like more money that I invested in different mentors and more and more and more. And then I started to like grow and grow and grow and make more money. But I think also I wanted to say, like, for anybody who maybe doesn't have the finances right now, if you just put the thought in your head all the time, like this was me. I every day was like, I need something to do. For a year, I didn't work. I was at home losing my mind. And I was like, I need something to do. I need something to do. Please, I need something to do. And then this opportunity came into me, to my life. So if you want it bad enough and you just pray about it, or if that's what you do, or just think about it, the resources will come to you. Like, I didn't find Rachel. Rachel found me because I was like, I need an answer. And
Yeah.
she popped into my life. Um, so with that said, like my programs, yes, I work with clients one-on-one, and then I have a group program. So there are two investment options for you. One-on-one, obviously. I do actually now offer lab testing for my one-on-one clients. We meet over Zoom twice a month. You get full macros. What I love about my program, Erica, the most, and what I learned from Rachel was, instead of saying like, here, Erica, here's your macros and your daily calories, and then you have to figure out what to eat and when to
Yeah.
eat it. I like design your perfect day of eating for you. So all you have to do is follow the amounts and the foods that I have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
So
Um,
easy.
So easy. And then I have food lists, so you could swap like protein for protein, veggie for veggie. You just keep the amounts the same. I lost 35 pounds like that. Also, weight training. So what was beautiful about Rachel is she gave me every piece of the puzzle, the nutrition, the exercise. She helped me with my sleep and stuff like that. You need all that. Usually if you work with a functional, medicine doctor, you're just working on the nutrition part. But without fully addressing also building muscle for women, which is so important for our hormones, um, you're not getting the full thing. So I also include a full training program. Um, and then obviously I look at your labs, do blood work. With my group clients, I don't do the labs or the blood work. So you just get like the nutrition, the macros, weight training. And then we do a group call every Saturday, which I love because connection and community is so important.
So
And
helpful.
everyone can hop on, ask me questions. And it's just nice because, Erica, you're embarking, but you've always eaten healthy. But for anyone out there who we're around a lot of people who don't eat healthy. We're
Absolutely.
around a lot of people who drink. And so it can feel a little isolating. So this Saturday call where we all join together and we come together, it's really nice to know like, okay, I'm not out here doing this work by myself.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
useful. And I just want to welcome anybody listening right now. As you know, everything will be in the show notes if you want to find out more about Claude and what she offers. And of course, the difference in the tiers and what you'll get from it. There's benefits in both, right? And I just encourage anybody, as you know, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. Because how could you operate your business if you're not healthy? How could you take care of your children if you're not healthy? How could you make more money if you're not healthy? So, like, health is number one. And I want you to consider, as you're listening to this podcast, like, this podcast is all about how do we become our best self? Like, there's bringing on experts with tools, tactics, and real life experiences of how to become your best self in all areas. And so this is a free tool just by listening to this and gaining knowledge this way or reading books and whatnot. But you need to be able to invest in yourself, but most importantly, invest in your health, because again, without health, you have nothing. And so like I took the plunge because I'm like, my standard for myself is optimal. I ain't settling for shit. I'm not settling for basic. Like, and I mean, like I consider myself healthy, but yet I still have something going on that's happening. So I know
Yeah.
that like I still have another level to go. And if that's my standard, nothing is gonna stop me from meeting it. Like you were saying, it's like you decide like that I'm gonna crush this. This is not gonna be my narrative and what I'm gonna live with because that's my standard, right? And so I just encourage anybody listening, like raise your standards, especially for your health, because again, health is number one. It should be. It really should. And so
Yeah.
I encourage people to invest, even if, I hope, I don't want to encourage people to go into debt or anything of that nature, but I just want you to open your mind to the possibility that you like when there's a will, there's a way,
Yeah.
and look what, she's a great example of what you went from to now 7-figure business. And it's because the passion to serve through your own experience and journey. So I just thank
Yeah.
you for that and
Yeah. Of
helping
course.
so many women, and of course, moms especially. So everything
Yeah.
will be in the show notes. Where can people best find you, Claude, on some resources and just your handles?
So you can find me on Instagram at Glow Up with Claude. And I also have a YouTube channel and a podcast called The Claude Code. And every Wednesday, I drop a new in your face mindset video that's about 10 minutes. It's like that kick in the ass. Listen, I need that. I have my own mentor who kicks me in the ass. Um, so you can follow me there. I think YouTube, you can search the Claude Code and then it'll come up for you. And Apple Podcast and Spotify for that. But Instagram is like my main hub and you can find everything from there.
Lots of goodness there. And like you said, it's like little tips that like kind of punch you in the gut and like get you started for the day, which is really awesome. I think we all need that. So thank you.
Yeah,
Well, let me
you're
just
welcome.
ask you my closing question that I ask all my
Okay.
guests. So if you were to share a piece of wisdom, a life lesson that you've learned along your journey, and you just feel everybody needs to hear it right now and you need to shout it out to the world, what is that piece of wisdom and why?
Believe in your motherfucking self. Just believe in you. Like, you are capable, you have the power, you have everything it takes to become whoever the fuck you want to become. Whatever that woman is you imagine, whatever she looks like, whatever she's doing, you can do it. So just believe in yourself, please. Because anything that stops you from believing in yourself is not you, it's not God, and it's not serving you. So believe in yourself and go forth. And by the way, Erica, when I first started investing in myself, I went into debt. I put that shit on credit cards. And I wouldn't be here if I hadn't just done that.
And it's because you believed in yourself and you believed in what
Yes.
was possible and the vision you saw for yourself.
Yeah. No one's
And
going to come and be like, Erica, you can do it. Erica, you got it. It's Erica, you should lose weight. You should take, like, you have to take control of that.
so good. So true. Thank you so much for everything you shared today and kind of just being honestly real and honest and sharing the journey of really what it looks like to become more disciplined, to become more confident, to really go after any goal, whether it be weight loss, whether it be health goals, business goals, or whatever. Like, we truly, by choice, can make it happen. So I just thank you for everything you shared today. This has been a phenomenal episode, and I so appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, Erica. Thank you, everyone, for listening.